Have you ever heard of MIMIR? MIMIR was a person and is connected to Odin, and it's connected to someone who gets their head chopped off because they are a seer. And because the seer is so important, they preserved the head of MIMIR and made MIMIR come back to life through a myriad of ways in order to hear the voice of God. So if we were to read the allegory of MIMIR as a seer who transcends lifetimes and maintains memory, then that's where we're going to go with this, because that is what we're seeing. Welcome. Although this is an individual reading, for Lewis, if you're here, you're meant to hear this message about being a seer. Lewis, you are in a boat, and you have the letter MM with a seer whose head is chopped off. There is also a head that is chopped off at your feet. The letter MM is MIMIR. It is connected to Odin. There are many beings in your boat, and each being in the boat has a boat within them. This means that they have transcended their souls from being a small soul to being a demigod, maintaining memory life after life, and having the type of energy that allows people who are small to move through their body, through their energy, through their teachings and their seeings and their understandings, and the ability to transcend different timelines. Outside of the boat are beings that are connected to a world that is not part of the boat. The symbologies of the beings outside of the boat speak of the 12th hour in the Egyptian Book of Gates. And we will get into that. And the peacock, the hands, the stars, the number 13, all of this is about the number 11, the number 12, and the number 13. It is an ancient truth that bleeds through Norse mythology, Egyptian Book of Gates, and even a little bit Christianity. But I call Christianity, or at least the Bible, kind of like a bubblegum lollipop version of history, because it never goes into detail about the truth of the ark and Noah. So we will also talk about Noah and how his eyes were shining. This means that Noah was a seer. We're going to talk about the allegory that why was Noah saved? Why are the seers saved? What is a seer? Seers are people who have special knowledge of the divine or supernatural realms. We have the ability to transcend time, timelines, parallel realities, and connect with energies and people of past, present, and future. And it's an ability that takes a lot of work. And it's a process that is quite painful for many seers to basically subdue their ego and minimize the world and the material world and accentuate a part of themselves that most people don't in order to transcend time and to see appropriately. So the seer MIMIR guarded a sacred spring located at one of the 3 roots of the world tree. Odin gained magical knowledge from the spring. To drink from the spring, you have to pay for it by giving one of your eyes to MIMIR. Freya was also a seer. She introduced the gods to the type of divination called SEER, which involved going into a trance and answering questions about the future. Shamans were believed to have the power to communicate with or travel to the spirit world. They did so for the purpose of healing rather than predicting the future. Sometimes spirits spoke through shamans. And that's where I am. I don't like to tell someone whether they're going to get married or if their boyfriend's going to break up with them, if they're going to be rich and famous. I'm really not about low self-worth or self-importance. I love to see to help people transcend and become more than human, and to have abilities that most won't step into, push them into their adepthood. That's what I feel like my role is. But other seers may be someone who likes to work in the now time and talk about little things that are happening within your physical reality. Many myths and stories of seers show many different emotions and many mindsets that seers can go through. And pride is one of them, self-importance. Once you are given a gift by God, it is not okay to flaunt it and misuse it out of divine order. We become obedient to a divine voice, and we are not under the power of money or pride or self-importance or anything like that. So MIMIR was renowned for his knowledge and wisdom in Norse mythology. And Mimir's head was cut off. I believe that if it was cut off back in that day, I believe that there's a story about the preservation of Mimir's head being an allegory that seers their consciousness is preserved and they do not experience death. They experience a consciousness shift. MIMIR is literally translated into the word memory. So maintaining consciousness, maintaining memory. They say that MIMIR drinks mead every morning. You know, mead is a wine made out of honey. And there are ancient stories of gods and goddesses who eat honey every day in order to accentuate their oracle and psychic abilities. There are many stories about this, and they're pretty fascinating to look into. What's interesting is that there is a horn that you drink out of this well, this magical water, and it's located beneath the great tree, the world tree. And underneath the tree, there is a realm called Frost Jotner. Isn't that funny? Under the earth, there is a realm called Frost Jotner. Very cool. So the disgusting allegory of cutting Mimir's head off and filling it with herbs and preserving it and then making it talk to continue may have happened, but I would prefer believing it as an allegory, not because of my own feelings, but because of your art. So this is a picture of Odin holding Mimir's head. So when we're thinking about seers and we're thinking about their abilities and the ability to see things beyond what most people see, seers are often depicted as ugly, strange, crazy beings, but that is not always so. But I will say seers often have to go through an initiation that includes a lot of pain and suffering, and that is this world that we live in. When we're talking about realms of time, we're talking about a boat, and this boat is connected to the Egyptian Book of Gates. There is a goddess that is always at the door or the wall of the gate, which will allow you to ascend or not. There is a lower world, an underneath world, an upper world, and there are many decks, many worlds. And this Egyptian Book of Gates is the allegory of Noah's Ark. Now, was Noah a seer? Absolutely. Noah could hear the voice of God. He warned everyone to get in the boat. And the boat is an allegory for maintaining consciousness by improving your manhood and stepping into your adepthood. Otherwise, you miss the boat and you get drowned back into what? Back into the age of Pisces, the fish. If you are in the age of Pisces, if we are in the age of Pisces, we have not grown to our adepthood. Going to the age of Aquarius is not linear. You either ascend there or not. Notice the goddess seated. Underneath her seat are people. These people are tiny. They are in a prison because they have not grown their soul. Notice the sizes of all the different chambers within the boat or the Book of Gates. These are all body languages telling where a person is in their adepthood. and every single layer is a reality or a realm which grows the soul. And so these allegories are geometrical, they are numerical, and they are allegorical. So Noah had eyes that shone like lights, like a lighthouse. And this reflects that he was a seer. You might also like to know that Noah, the name Noah, is both male and female. So this could be a description, secret description, that Noah was the original Adam and Eve before Eve was cut from Adam. And these individuals had power and they had everlasting life. When we're thinking about the Egyptian description of the ark, we would understand that the boat is called the boat of Ra. There are different hours when it comes to realms. There's the 11th hour and the 12th hour and the 5th hour, and each hour, each chamber, each realm, each parallel reality has a certain spirit of God which grows the spirits within it into their adepthood. And in the 12th hour, there are those with hands, their right hands are holding stars. And you have this in your art, Lewis. And if you look at the descriptions of the different hours in the Book of Gates, you'll see what hour you are in. Now, you have a hand holding up the number 5, and I looked into it about the 5th hour. The 5th hour is a time of rejoicing your accomplishments, but you also have symbols of being in the 12th hour because you also have the number 13. This is the master number. And to be honest with you, I'm only looking at the symbols in your piece and picking out evidence for you to refer to because I really am not a historian or an adept person when it comes to Egyptian mythology. Because my mind goes to a completely different room when I saw your piece. Although I look at these descriptions, and you can push pause and read all of this about the different hours and the different levels of the ark or the gates in this metaphorical ark. But pretty much you are being put into a boat, which is a body of God, one of the bodies of God, that grows your soul to become a seer. And in order to step into this, you have to know that it will push and pull you in so many different directions, and it is your destiny to become a seer. And you have your hand held out like, come in the boat with me. Like, I don't know if you were talking to me, but you were saying, come in the boat with me. All those who want to be a seer, who can transcend time. And I'm going to tell you here in a minute what I think about Noah and about all the seers like MIMIR. That the reason I think that Mimir's head was chopped off is because Odin valued seers. God valued Noah. God values the oracle more than any other, leaving all the other humans behind to save Noah. Because the oracle, we are known as the memory banks. And if you think about the chambers of the ark, it looks like a computer, a memory bank. So for those who maintain the memory of the gods and can transcend time, their memory will be preserved. And that's what I'm seeing for you and for many other individuals in your boat. You have a symbol of a divination device above your head. And there is a symbol of someone's hand looking like a row, like an oar for rowing a boat. And the peacock is about people who transcend into the angelic realm through the white energy of being angelic. And on the spirit realm last night, I saw what I thought was you, where your body cracked open and out of your body came someone who looked just like you, but you were blue, and you were invisible, but you were able to walk and be alive, but you could do many things. So there's some kind of communication about a transcendence that maintains consciousness and does not have to go back into reincarnation if we get into the boat and or accept this. And for me, I don't easily want to go into a boat like that because I feel like everything's a trap. Although I see that this is the truth, I see that this happens and that we all grow and it's painful and we go to a better place. If I don't hear directly with an angel in front of my face telling me, yes, this place is so much better than where you're going, I worry about where it goes. So I wouldn't immediately say I'm going to be a seer and get in the boat, because really meditate on whether this is the path that is the appropriate path for you. So the divination device above you looks like this, and it looks like a boat, and it has it's half of a clock. And on one side of the clock is a bird, a little bird like a bluebird, and on the other side is a larger bird. This reflects a soul who is small, like a munchkin, and then a soul who is tall, like a tall Dorothy. And so divination is understanding whether you're dealing with a small soul or a tall soul. Are you dealing with ignorance? Are you dealing with adepthood? And that's part of your divination. So when I saw your piece, my mind went immediately to Stranger Things. So 11 is a number. Her name is 11. 11 was put into the age of Pisces to suffer because God, which is Papa, wanted to push her through pain to be able to astral travel and to become powerful. It was a very painful process, like getting your head chopped off. And she was alone, and she was motivated by low self-worth, and she was motivated by pain to be able to be a seer. And God wanted her to be a seer so much, Papa, that they were willing to watch her suffer. They were willing to put her through all kinds of different trials and temptations and emotional traumas and to the point of almost death, just so that she could become a superhero, a seer. And we see this in a lot of stories like The Hunger Games. Katniss Everdeen, born in a prison, pushed into low self-worth, pushed into depravity, pushed into starvation, pushed into being invisible, so that she would go inside herself and through this pain become Katniss Everdeen, the phoenix, and the phoenix on fire, the blazing bird that transcends manhood and could do many things. Her process was more fixated on physical confrontations and fighting her physical reality. But the Harry Potter had to endure muggles. He lost his mother and his father, and these muggles treated him like absolute garbage. Treated him less than a dog. And so this low self-worth, this neglect, this emptiness, this loneliness pushed Harry in some unseen way, where all of a sudden Harry transcended a lower realm and went and shifted into a higher realm like Hogwarts to become the Harry Potter, to be magical. And so this is the story. Why is MIMIR's name spelled M, and then the I goes down below, and then M, and then the I goes over there? Maybe this was an ancient way of spelling the name MIMIR, but it was Mimi. So it is MIMI, but it's a strange way of writing it on your boat there. But you can see at your feet that you're a seer, and you have the stag. This white stag is that you have transcended the 7 wounds of Christ through the 7 spirits of God, and you have transcended the age of Pisces. Your boat is on top of the water. Your boat is on top of Pisces. You're going into the age of Aquarius, which is like Hogwarts, and you're transcending the prison planet, 12 hours, 12 months, 12 zodiac signs, to 13, which is the master number, to a place where you maintain consciousness and you can step into hearing the dog, which is at 11 o'clock, the divine order of God. You have a rabbit. You have Anubis in your boat with the 2 fish. Anubis is a judgment with the 2 fish, the age of Pisces. You have a wizard and an angel, or like a Tinkerbell or a fairy on top of the wizard hat. You have a human being that looks like an angel with their body as a fish. These are gods or goddesses whose purpose is to help grow young souls who are in the age of Pisces. And if you're a young soul and you're meant to become like Christ or become like MIMIR or become like Noah, it's painful. You may go through a flood. And as a seer, you may say to people, hey, get in the boat. This is truth, and no one listens to you. And you watch everyone leave you, and you watch everyone die around you. And it's painful. And it's hard to say goodbye, and it's hard not to look back. But if this is our adepthood and this is what we're meant to do, then this is what we need to step into and just go with it. Because you can't say no to God. It's the destiny. And yeah, it was painful for me. It was very painful. You know, my little child in me wants to throw a fit and say, what a jerk, to put me through that, you know. But somehow the pain of transcending from lead to gold is a melting and a burning and a drowning and a resurrection and a nailing to the cross and a cutting off of the head and being put in a mental hospital known as Hawkins Lab and being kicked and thrown in the garbage and told you're a piece of garbage, all the while hoping that this pain will turn into power. Why? I don't know. I wish it wasn't so. I wish that we could just be like a butterfly, drinking the nectar of beautiful flowers and suddenly becoming powerful out of love and joy. Doesn't seem to be that process for some reason. And so I want to encourage you, Lewis, to look into the Egyptian Book of Gates, because you have many symbols in your piece of that. It's a time to protect our heads. And you need to become an alchemist. And you should know that you have a gift inside you that is waiting to crack open like an egg and to birth your divination, oracle, psychic, and seeing abilities. For me, it's taken years, and I'm still not at the point where I could say I'm confident. I don't, because I always tell people I could be wrong. But I didn't know anything about the people with stars in their hands, and I didn't know anything about Mimi, until I read your piece. So when you start seeing the symbols of people's heads cut off and people with lights in their eyes like Noah, and you see the symbols in Egyptian Book of Gates, and you see this boat as an allegory of being above the world of Pisces, you have no choice but to assume that this is for real and that this is what you're meant to do. So I'm proud of you. Look how tall you are compared to some in your boat. Trust in your process and trust that that all your answers are within you. I would just study as much as you can and begin to hear the voice of God for yourself and follow it. Because I don't think I would want to be reborn again in the age of Pisces as an ignorant baby. I keep telling everybody, if that happens to me, I am going to choke on my own spit. I do not want to do that again. It's just too much. I'm hopeful that we go and grow to a better place. and that our souls do grow and double and triple and quadruple, and that we will be welcomed with comfort and joy. You might like to know that the name Noah also means a place of rest. So being in the boat at this time for you is a time of rest, but it's also a time of studying and teaching. So please do that. If you have any questions about any of the energies that showed up in your boat, like let's say you lost a loved one, or you think that someone in your boat is a relative of yours, they probably are. Just know that you have many people around you